Welcome back to Independent Blazers. I am Dan.
I'm Joe.
Now, today we're going to talk about, Joe, what are we going to talk about?
Break down the election polls here in the United States as we have this thing called an election coming up on November 5th between former President Donald Trump and current Vice President Kamala Harris. So today we're going to look at the polls and the media. The polls have been all over the place. So
But before we do, folks, please like, subscribe, share, bang the notification bell as it helps the algorithm. It helps us, and hopefully it helps you too. I think it does. And follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter. Now, Joe?
All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, I don't want to be accused of being biased. So what I'm going to do here is give you a breakdown of these polls, okay? This is Real Clear Politics, all right? It's an aggregate site. It also has a lot of news articles, but they take all the weekly and daily polls and filter them in, and it comes out to an average. So right now, before we go to the swing states, we're going to take a look at what's going on nationally. And the actual Real Clear Politics average, Dan, can you see it good? And our folks?
Not really. Let's see. Maybe it's my own vision.
Well, folks.
Okay, I mean, I can see it. I can see it all right, but I don't really.
Right. Let me get out, and let me get out of it, and then I'm gonna try to make it even a little bigger, and then we're gonna do this again, folks. This is the beauty.
Let's do it again.
This is the beauty of live. All right.
Let's do it again as a good movie and good soundtrack too. Oh, sorry, you were talking about this.
How you go? How does that look? That should be able.
That looks a bit better.
Should be all right. So now I'm going to tell you the most accurate poll in 2020 was called the Atlas Intel poll. And again, this was the most accurate one of 2020. And right now, nationally, that poll, as you see, some of these polls are all over the place. Right now, this one has Trump up nationally by 3 points. The USA Today Suffolk poll, which came out on October 18th, has Vice President Harris up by 1. Now, you average all these polls together, and it has they take every poll, it has the Vice President up by 1 point. Actually, it's really a tie because how polls work, they go plus or minus 3 points. So some of these polls, the ones I tend to like, the Atlas Intel, and everyone's like, oh, you like that because Trump's up by 3. No, wrong answer. Because it was the most accurate. It was the most accurate in 2020. That's why. The Atlas Intel Rasmussen was the third most accurate in 2020. Now, to be fair, does Rasmussen, or is the people that run that poll, are they right-leaning? Yes, they are. But if you go back for the past 9 years since I've been tracking them, they've been accurate. They don't oversample. They don't oversample Republicans or liberal polls oversampling Democrats. Now, the key to factor here and why pollsters have such a hard time with this election, because there's a thing called the hidden Trump vote. Okay? And there's people.
The hidden Trump vote. What do you mean the hidden Trump vote?
The hidden Trump vote means people that won't talk to pollsters and they won't openly say they're voting for Donald Trump. Now, and I'm going to give you an example of that right now. Let me see if I can. I'm going to try to find it. So before I do that, look at the polls. These are the top polls. Okay, you got Rasmussen, Atlas, TIPP, USA Today, which is I would say fairly accurate. They have Harris up by 1. Morning Consult. Many people say that leans left. That's a left-leaning poll.
NBC is definitely left-leaning. CBS.
But
those are definitely.
Now, what you're noticing, though, in the past week, you see a lot of these polls tightening because, especially in 2016, what had happened was a lot of these pollsters had egg on their face because they were so inaccurate. 2020, they were still somewhat inaccurate because they had Biden ahead by 8 to 10 points, and he only won by 3 to 4. So pollsters are trying to factor in this so-called hidden Trump vote. So if you go off that, then actually this looks very good for Donald Trump. But again, this election's very close. Basically, flip a coin. All right, so what I'm going to show here, so there's, folks, there's a look at these polls. You can go look at them for yourself. This is from Real Clear Politics. So what I'm going to do here, these are the national, this is the national poll, okay? So when you look at the national polls, we just took a look at that. Now, I'm going to do one more thing I should have done before I got out, but I'll go back and show you something real quick. Let me go back to the screen. All right. You might not be able to see this well. Maybe you can. All right. Look above the poll. Maybe I need to make that a little bigger. I'm going to make this bigger. I'm going to get out and get in it. I want to point out something here. All right. So I'm going to go back in now. I'm going to make this screen a little bigger for everyone to see. All right. Look at this where it says this day in history. Okay? Dan, can you see that? This day in history.
Oh yeah, I can. It's kind of hard to, but
So,
yeah, okay, I can see it now.
4 years ago, you see October 21st, 2020, Biden's average was 7.5, plus 7.5. 2016, Clinton was 6 point. Now
Hillary Clinton. Yeah.
Yeah, Hillary Clinton in 2016 was basically 6 points. Now today,
Yeah.
those polls there were overstating. Basically, even though Biden won, he won by 3 or 4 points. Trump ended up winning the election, losing the popular vote. So if you factor in the hidden Trump vote, right now the average is Harris up by 1. Mm-hmm. Now, for this election in the past 3 weeks has tightened, and some people,
yes, it has.
Some pollsters will say, now when we look at that. So I hope everyone gets a good look. What I'm giving you here is numbers. I don't want you to accuse us of being biased.
Everyone has their bias, but we do our best to be objective.
Yes. So again, basically this race is a toss-up. And what I'm going to do here, before I open the screen here, I'm going to go to Battleground states, okay? This is where the race is going to be won or lost. So let's open that. We're going to go Battleground states, and boom, as you can see.
Let's see. Let me guess. Is it okay. Arizona. I still have a hard time believing that Arizona is a swing state. It has traditionally been known to be rather on the conservative side, to say the least. And Mesa, Arizona was voted.
It's not hard to believe.
Conservative. But wait, Mesa, Arizona was voted the most conservative city in America for a couple of years. Plus, what's it called? Maricopa County with Sheriff Joe Arpaio.
Yeah, but then in 2020, Biden won by 12,000 votes. So it's gotten more because of demographic changes. Now, in the 90s, early 2000s, yes, Arizona, every year since 96, pretty much up until 2020, it was in the Republican column. But however, right now, if you do the Real Clear Politics average, Trump is up 1.6. This is where these states here is where the presidency is going to be won or lost. This is where Trump has gained ground. All right. Right now, Real Clear Politics has Trump up 49 to 47.4. There's other polls. Now, depending on what you believe, Triangular poll has Trump up by 3 in Arizona. The one poll has Trump up by 4. But again, Real Clear Politics is pretty accurate with their averages. So, as you see, Trump has the 1.6 point advantage. Nevada, I personally think Harris is going to win this state, not by much. In 2020, Vice President Biden won it by 2.5 points, 2.4 to be exact. But right now, the real clear aggregate has Trump up by a point, basically a point and a half. I think Harris personally pulls out that state. I think Trump wins Arizona if I'm giving a prediction. I think the vice
Yeah.
president, I think Harris is going to win Nevada.
Well,
Maybe
I
by,
don't know. I think Trump would probably win Nevada. No,
all right,
because
well,
once you get out of Las Vegas, it's pretty conservative.
no, actually, Vegas is liberal. That's how they win the state.
I was
Vegas,
saying once you get out of Vegas. I said out of Vegas. Once you get out of
okay,
Vegas,
okay.
it's a pretty conservative.
Yes, last
Yeah.
election, the Republicans took all the rural areas, but Reno and Vegas went to Biden. But Trump has gained ground. So they're calling this one a toss-up. I still think Harris. No, all right, so we'll give our predictions. This will be fun. I'm going to say Trump pulls out Arizona. I give Nevada to the vice
Yeah.
president by maybe a point and a half. Now
All right.
here's
Wisconsin. Okay.
this is a tough state. This is Trump pulled the upset in 2016. Right now, this is literally flip a coin, Dan. This one is literally flip a coin. Some polls
Yeah.
have him winning, some polls have her. Now, from what I'm reading, the internal polls, the Harris campaign is panicking. But again, I'm not in their campaign. I'm just reading it off site. I read it off NBC News and a couple other places. So I'm still going to call this one a toss-up. I'll give it to the vice president by 1 point. That's just my prediction. So far I have Arizona for Trump, Nevada for the vice president, barely, and the vice president. Dan, what do you predict on Wisconsin?
That is a tough one. Okay, those who saw higher employment, as in lower unemployment, associate that more with Trump, but Wisconsin could go either way. Milwaukee, it's more Democrat typically.
Now, I will say this, Trump has closed the gap. So, I'm just trying not to be biased. I'm always accused of being a Republican. Yeah, I do lean conservative in a lot of areas, but you'll be shocked. I'm not biased. I'm going to give the vice president by a point. Michigan, the real clear aggregate, 1 point, basically a point, just under a point and a half. I'm picking Trump to pull a minor upset there by one, because from what he has a lot of enthusiasm. I think what's going to make the difference in Michigan is the Muslim community in Dearborn, and Trump has made massive inroads.
Yeah.
And he just got a Muslim mayor endorsing him. So I think Trump is
Yeah.
going to. And again, folks, we could be wrong. This is a close election, but I'm just giving.
This is just what we think. Yeah, this is just what we think is going to happen, our prediction. And yeah, you're right, Joe. Now that you mentioned Dearborn and the fact that a lot of people of the Muslim community in Dearborn are more on Trump's side, they're jaded with the Biden-Harris administration. I will give Trump Michigan as well. All
right. Moving on. This is what many people believe. This is the bellwether state here. This is you're going to see. If you noticed over the weekend, there's a lot of attention being paid to this particular state. Many analysts believe whoever wins Pennsylvania is going to win the presidency. I personally think there's going to be some shockers election night. From what I'm reading and from what I'm hearing, now the real clear aggregate, the RCP average, has Trump just under a point. I think Trump's going to win this state by 2 points, 3 points. I think because from what even Senator John Fetterman, who's no Trump supporter, is saying there's a lot of enthusiasm on the ground for Donald Trump. The gap is closed. So I'm gonna pick Trump. So far, I have Arizona going Trump. I have Nevada going Vice President Harris. Wisconsin, I flip a coin, but I'll give it to Harris because it's always been a. And Michigan, I'm picking Trump in an upset. And Pennsylvania, I'm giving to the former president. Dan, what do you got to say on that?
Well, for Pennsylvania, yeah, I have to say that okay, some places had typically voted Democrat in the past. There's a saying about Pennsylvania. There's Philadelphia and there's Pittsburgh, and between it's Alabama. That's an old saying. But honestly, I believe, though, he's gained ground in Pennsylvania because that's the state where the guy tried to assassinate him.
And
And so,
the other thing, what's funny is a lot of the establishment Republicans, well, Trump's going to kill the party. Ironically, minorities the Republicans, because of Trump, have gained with minorities, particularly black men. Here's another wild card state, North Carolina. As you can see, the Real Clear Politics average has Donald Trump up by a half a point. Now, these polls, depending on what you read, some have Harris ahead, some have Trump ahead. Both camps claim they have the momentum. Harris's campaign claims they got momentum in North Carolina. Trump's camp does. Look, Trump, they thought Biden was going to win it in 2020. Until I see a Democrat pull it out, I'm going to have Trump by a hair. Because it's been fool's gold for Democrat. Yes, Obama did manage to do it, to take North Carolina. Trump, North Carolina, because of Charlotte, and the bigger cities have gotten more liberal over the years. But in the mountain areas, are in the rural areas, are extremely conservative. I'll say Trump pulls it out.
okay, I disagree. Oh, sorry.
Good. Disagree. Go ahead. Good.
Well, what I mean is, I think though this one's going to go to Harris, North Carolina, because, like you said, the demographics have changed too, and it's not just in coastal areas. Some people with more left views have moved to mountainous places such as Asheville. I understand that's a very liberal in a good way, by the way, liberal community up in the mountains in North Carolina. I can't say for sure, though. I've never been there.
Asheville is a very affluent area. It's known as veering more to the Democratic side. Again, flip a coin. You could be right. I could be right. Who knows? Basically, flip a coin on this one. The only reason I'm giving that to Trump because of the recent history, and in 2020, the polling was so off in North Carolina. They had Biden. They thought Biden was going to win that, and he didn't. But, again, this is a new election cycle, a different set of circumstances. You could be right. I could be right. Who knows?
That's right.
Flip the pancake. Flip the coin. How about, all right, Georgia. President Biden won this state by 10,000 votes in 2020. I personally believe this time, as you can see the Real Clear Politics average, I personally believe that Trump is going to take this state. So I have Trump in Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania. I have in Michigan. I have the vice president, Wisconsin, Nevada, Arizona. Now, again, I could be wrong. But that's what I believe. Who do you have for Georgia, Dan?
I'd say that one also has to go to Harris because a lot of people have moved to Georgia for more people with leftist views. A lot, say, Californians.
Particularly Atlanta.
Atlanta. But I think, how about, what was the next biggest one? Was it Savannah? Is that the second largest?
Savannah is a big one, but Atlanta is how the Democrats have gained ground. Also, if you look, the reason I think Georgia may go to Trump is, and let's not forget this, Trump has gained with black men massively. And he's gained. If 24% of the now, again, it's all contingent on these demographics showing up to the polls. But if the polls are true, and what gave Biden the election was he did very well with African Americans. She is not doing as well. And if you notice, particularly African American men are starting to align with Trump. Now, the Democrats still have the majority share, but If Trump gets over 24% of that vote, he's winning the election. If that stands true. But again, a lot of demographics, they say one thing, and a lot of them don't go to the polls. Because in 2020, we had 66% of the population vote. The rest didn't vote. So, all right, so there's your battleground there. All right, and here I'm going to give you, here's what I mean by some of these polls here. And let me, I'm also want to do the betting average. And I'm going to show folks, like it or not, Wall Street and Vegas know what's going on. These people are money makers, are movers and shakers. So I'm going to show you something here, Dan, and our viewers. As you can see,
it's kind of blurry, but is it my eyes or?
All right, I'm gonna make it bigger. I'm gonna make it bigger. Can you see it better now?
Yeah.
Here are the betting odds. If you go bet online, they're a pretty big one. They're saying Trump has a 59% chance to win the election at vice president. Am I there? I got knocked off somehow. Hold on. Oh, here I am. Sorry about that, folks. You look at the betting odds. So here are the betting odds. And there's Polymarket, which is a well-known one. So all the betting, all the money has moved towards Trump. So these big money players claim. So if you looked at here, Polymark 59%, PointsBet 60%. Bet online, 59. And again, as such, in the era of Donald Trump, there's a lot of unpredictability. We don't know, but these are where the trends are going. And there's the Real Clear Politics average, 59% chance for Donald Trump winning the Electoral College, 39.8 for Vice President Harris. So there is the betting odds. Right there. And folks, these are the numbers. Again, this is not Dan or I'm not making this up. I'm just giving you the numbers.
Yeah, regardless of what Joe and I think, these are what the numbers say.
Yeah, so now, when we look, I'm going to get out of this real quick. I'm going to try to find one more thing. I want to show you everyone something. I'm just giving you what Real Clear Politics are saying, not me. And there's other sites, so let's see, real quick. So Dan, what do you think so far?
It looks like Trump has an advantage at this point. I mean, regardless of what what I think or whatever, or how I feel, that's what the numbers appear to show.
Well,
I can just tell by conversations. Yeah?
The trend has gone his way in the past 2 weeks, for sure. Even his favorability ratings up by 10 points. Now, what I want to find here for the people is I want to find the Electoral College map. And this is what Real Clear Politics is saying. All right, I think I found it. So what I'm going to do now is the Electoral College map. So I'm going to post this map right now, and what I'll do, I'm going to make it big enough so people can see it. I'm going to post this map, and bam, it should be right. It should be right on the screen. All right, so basically, if you see the blue, this is where the Democrats, their states are locked in. Obviously, California's freaking deep blue. Oregon.
I'm surprised Texas is light red and Alaska is dark red, or medium even. But okay.
Well, Texas is still a right state, but Austin, a lot of liberals have moved there. Depending on the polling, Trump's winning by 5 to 11 points. Florida has trended red since 2012. It used to be a swing state. So you see the red is for basically for Republican and blue for Democrat. All the analysts say these states are locked in. Now the gray is basically the swing states: Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, Carolina, PA. So you see the gray, it's all, these are the swing states. So
Yeah.
there you go. Obviously, and the key is also, like Biden won New
Hey,
York, for
Joe.
example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Wait a second.
So
Oh, sorry.
can you see the map? All right, you see the map. All right. So the gray is the toss-up states, basically. Red is the right. Red is Republican, and deep red is basically, look, these are totally, hell could freeze over. They're not changing. Dark blue, same thing for the Democrats. Deep dark is basically, look, it's going to the Democrats. The shaded, like the shaded red, the light red, and the light blue
Yeah.
leans Democrat, likely.
Yeah. Joe. Hey, Joe. We're starting to run out of time, bro. Um.
All right,
Yeah, but I agree though.
so all
Some
right, no
states will never
problem.
change. Some states will never. Yeah. So,
And we'll do another
anyway,
election
folks.
preview as it's drawn close. Anyways,
Yeah.
that's some of our analysis. We hope you liked it. We tried to back it up with facts and numbers for you. So I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Anyways, Dan.
We'll do. Yeah. Yeah. We'll do more videos leading to the election. But in the meantime, folks, please like, subscribe, share, bang the notification bell, and as it helps the algorithm. Also, please follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter. And in the meantime, folks, grab your independent mind and blade.
Peace out, everyone. Have a great day wherever you're at.